Okay, that's recording. So again, welcome sa room ko, guys. So let's continue our discussion on RBC anomalies. So yung previous discussion, if you haven't watched it, yun muna unahin nyo malamang. So normal morphology of red blood cell and the different anisocytes and poikilocytes. Yan. Now, we're still in RBC, ha? Red blood cell pa rin tayo. And we're going to talk about today inclusion bodies. So, apparently, there are elements inside. May mga natitira sa loob ng red blood cell. Normally, it should be a nucleate, walang nucleus. Dapat wala ring nakikitang remnants of RNA or DNA or iron. Dapat wala. But in some cases, in certain diseases, meron, guys. So we call it inclusion or inclusion bodies. So let's discuss it. So get your notes, get your coffee. Let's enjoy studying, guys. So these are your developmental organelle. So this happened upon abnormal development. So abnormal erythropoiesis. Tingnan nga natin. So first one is your Howell-Jolly body. Howell-Jolly body. So notice, guys, ang cute. Parang may dimple, blue na dimple yung Howell-Jolly body. So one thing na gusto kong isipin nyo, so if it's DNA, so paano malaman by looking at the dot kung DNA? It should be fulgen positive, fulgen stain positive, and methyl green pyronine. So, pag binigyan ko ng ganyang image at sinabi kong fulgen positive, meaning it's a DNA, guys, it's Howell-Jolly bodies. This one, so may DNA na natira apparently. So, this is due to carrier hexes. So, normally, guys, dapat your nucleus is extruded, removed, and fragments. And apparently, due to abnormal erythropoiesis, may natira na DNA fragments. So that is your Howell-Jolly body. Guys, it will stain violet upon fulgen stain. So it should be positive with fulgen stain. So if it's not, it's fulgen stain negative, it's an RNA. Iba siyang inclusion na yan. So this happens, Howell-Jolly body. I think number one is megaloblastic anemia. Yan, this erythropoiesis. Guys, can we just add, ma'am, bakit malaki ang macrocytes? Bakit maliit ang microcytes? I mean, what's the reason? So can I just answer that? So macrocytes are big because there's no enough cell division. Kasi 'di ba, ang red blood cell, pag nagse-cell divide yan, paliit yan ng paliit. Pag nagmamature yan, nagde-differentiate yan, it gets smaller. So apparently, in macrocytes class, there is abnormal DNA synthesis. There is this erythropoiesis wherein the size of your red blood cell does not mature. Kasi 'di ba, ang mature na red blood cell malaki. Ang immature na red blood cell malaki. So tama ako sa sinabi ko na it does not mature. Hindi siya lumiliit due to the abnormal DNA synthesis caused by the deficiency in vitamin B12 and folic acid. So the other name of vitamin B12 is cobalamin. So pag sinabing cobalamin deficiency class, so it can also result to megaloblastic anemia. So notice here in Howell-Jolly body class, so nalaman natin na pag may megaloblastic anemia, may macrocytes, may hypersegmented neutrophil. I mentioned that. And also, guys, Howell-Jolly body. There are DNA remnants in your red blood cell. Okay. So, what else? It happens when your spleen is removed or you have functional hyposplenia. Your spleen is not functioning properly, guys. Meron dalawang naka-arrow dyan, diba? Yung red na arrow, it points to your Howell-Jolly body, pero may isa pang Pinoy dyan, class. The orange one. Ano kaya to? From last time. Class, this is a bite cell. Yan. So apparently, your spleen, culled, C-U-L-L-E-D, culled, So, tinanggal niya past tense. So, culling, in the process of culling, tinanggal niya class yung Howell Jolly body. So, yung splenic macrophage, tinanggal niya, kinagatan niya. So, now we have a bite cell. We have a bite cell. Or degmacyte. Tama. Ang galing, no? I love it. I love it. So, in Howell Jolly body, if the spleen is functioning properly, you can see Howell Jolly bodies and bite cells. But guys, if the person has no spleen and or functional hypospleen niya, hindi gumagana ang spleen niya, walang bite cells. Why? Because no organ will call the Howell Jolly body or remove the Howell Jolly body. Ang galing, no? Guys. Ibig sabihin, there's a quality control in your body. So if there is a abnormal red blood cell, the spleen tends to remove it. Or if not, operates on your red blood cell, kumbaga, and remove the abnormal thing in your red blood cell. Galing, no? So in Howell Jolly body, so you can see bite cells if the spleen is normal. But if the spleen is removed, there's no bite cells. Galing! Love it. And also, you can see it in hemolytic anemia kasi there's excessive breakdown of red blood cells. So there can be this erythropoiesis. Abnormal na yung red blood cell development. And yun, apparently DNA remnants are left in your red blood cell. Next, guys, is your Oppenheimer bodies. I'm seeing in some books sa Rodac, yung version ko ng Rodac, the other name of Oppenheimer bodies is siderotic granules. Yan, Oppenheimer bodies or siderotic granules. Okay na yun sa akin. So, your Pappenheimer bodies contains iron. So, kung Howell Jolly bodies contains DNA, your Pappenheimer contains iron. Pakibilugan, please. So, this is also called siderotic granules. So, that siderotic granules, it contains iron. And guys, once we will reach Hema 2, and actually it's in your notes, you have ringed sideroblasts. Sayang hindi ako naglagay ng photo ng ringed sideroblasts, but that's your quick Google assignment. So, anong itsura ng ringed sideroblast class? Your ringed sideroblasts are blast cells which has iron concentrated around the nucleus of the blast cell. So, may iron siya. So, we can stain it with Pearl's Prussian blue. So, ito na naman, pag sinabi kong positive for Pearl's Prussian blue, then it is Pappenheimer body. So, class, to identify this inclusion bodies, hindi tayo identify. Dapat sinistain na rin natin sila para sure. And so they are smaller than Howell Jolly bodies, but deeper blue and more likely to be multiple. So Howell Jolly, mag-isa niya lang, parang dimple lang siya. This one is more on like a freckle. Tareng. And so you can see your ring sideroblast class sa bone marrow nahanap yun kasi blast cells yun, okay? So if you have sideroblastic anemia, you can see ring sideroblast in the bone marrow and you can see Pappenheimer bodies in the peripheral blood smear. And class, you can see it in thalassemias or hemoglobinopathies, alcoholism, the removal of spleen, and conditions leading to hemochromatosis or hemosiderosis. So itong mga hemosiderosis na to and hemochromatosis, there is increased accumulation of iron. Next, guys, basophilic stippling. Huwag malilito. So, basophilic stippling. So, basophilic stippling. So, we're just saying here that we're not pertaining to basophils. We're still pertaining to red blood cell. However, the stipplings, the granules that are, or the aggregates that are found in your red blood cell is quite basophilic in nature. They like they like basic stains like methylene blue. So guys, ito na, Howell Jolly body, DNA siya. Pappenheimer or siderotic granules, ang laman niya, iron. Basophilic stippling class, RNA. Don't ever forget that RNA is a very basophilic loving, it's a basophil base loving element. Ang mga blast cell natin, di ba, class, mga blast cell, yung mga immature natin, kung naalala niyo yung mga pronormoblast, they stain very blue for methylene blue. Why? Because they contain lots of ribosomes and RNA. So apparently, dapat pag nagmamature, nawawala na yung RNA. It is removed from the mature red blood cell. But apparently, due to this erythropoiesis, abnormal development, may mga natitirang, may natitirang ribosomes. And not only ribosomes, but mitochondrial remnants. Paki-underline yung dalawa. Ribosomes and mitochondrial remnants. So they were left from the breakdown of ribosomes. So may RNA siya. And class, so this is due to heavy metal poisoning, specifically lead poisoning. So class, naalala niyo yung tales sa microcytic anemia, thalassemia, anemia of chronic disease, iron deficiency anemia, lead poisoning, and sideroblastic tales. May sideroblastic anemia ba doon? Tapos guys, here same thing. When there is lead poisoning, basophilic stippling is also there. So in lead poisoning, di ba, there is a inhibition of diala dehydrase and ferrochelatase. So yung basophilic stippling natin is also found in your lead poisoning. In class, so if there is defective or accelerated heme synthesis, so there's something wrong with the way they process their heme. And class, pyrimidine 5 nucleotidase deficiency. So this is very unique in basophilic stippling. Class, the most common enzyme deficiency is number 1, G6PD deficiency. Pinaka-common yan. Number 2 is pyruvate kinase. And number 3 is pyrimidine 5 nucleotidase deficiency. So tatlo yan. So all of these 3 will result to hemolytic anemia, actually. Lahat sila, ini-impact nila ang red blood cells. So these deficiencies in enzyme, you can detect it through newborn screening. So yung mga babies, hopefully, actually there's already a law since 2003 pa ata yun in your medtech laws that all babies should be screened with the different metabolic diseases. So the most common disease is G6PD. So next is pyruvate kinase, and third is pyrimidine 5 nucleotidase. Yan. So it can also result to basophilic stippling. Plus very intense. So you don't, makakita ka ng isa lang, grade as positive only. 1 or 2 will indicate. Pero class, syempre, kunyari, pag may Howell-Wally bodies, maghanap ka naman ng macrocyte, maghanap ka naman ng hypersegmented neutrophils to really correlate that you're natama, diba? Malay mo, artifact lang. Or malay mo, platelet lang na pumatong sa red blood cell, diba? So Pappenheimer bodies, they are also siderotic granules. They contain iron, basophilic stippling. So you can stain, it's violet. So laman nun is RNA, ribosomal remnants and mitochondrial remnants. Next one, Cabot ring. So notice, parang may image po tayo yan, mga Cabot ring. So apparently, those Cabot ring class are microtubules. Your microtubules will make up your mitotic spindles. So, kailan ginagamit ang mitotic spindles during mitosis? So, mitosis is a process for creating new daughter cells, diba? So apparently, there's something wrong with the process of mitosis and the spindle were left, naiiwan sila. So loop or incomplete ring or figure of 8. So minsan, naglo-loop siya together, forming a figure 8. So there's something wrong with the nuclear membrane. Kaya ito nangyari, megaloblastic anemia, but not really common. Homozygous thalassemia, lead poisoning, severe anemia, and post-planectomy. So there's something wrong with the nucleus, because there were nuclear remnants left. The next is abnormal hemoglobin precipitation. So they will impact your hemoglobin. So next, first one, Heinz body. So 1 to 3 micrometers, single or multiple purplish inclusion. So it's not only one, yeah, but can be multiple. Usually on the periphery, nasa gilid. This is due to the precipitation of hemoglobin. Ma'am, how can we differentiate this from Howell Jolly body from the others? It should be positive with a supravital stain, which is crystal violet. So, or brilliant crescent blue. Yan. So, yan. Positive sila sa supravital stains, BCB, and crystal violet. So your Heinz body class. So what's the reason of the precipitation of hemoglobin? This is due to the oxidation of hemoglobin. So therefore, class, Heinz body is a hallmark for oxidation injury, oxidative injury. So ibig sabihin na oxidize yung hemoglobin natin. Dapat normal, di ba? It should be in the reduced form, acted upon by the reduced glutathione in the hexose monophosphate shunt. Diba yung sa first topic ko last time, in the hexose monophosphate shunt, so it will produce your NADPH. Tapos yung NADPH na yun, magproduce ng reduced glutathione, which will protect your red blood cells or your hemoglobin from oxidative stress or injury. Ma'am, saan galing itong mga to? Itong mga oxidative stress, pwedeng gamot, pwedeng free radicals, pwedeng ultraviolet waves, hindi natin alam. So, class, apparently, so your hemoglobin were oxidized. So, kailan to nangyayari? Number 1, G6PD deficiency. What else? Hemoglobinopathy. Ito, drinking sulfonamides. So, yung mga malarial drugs. Zurich and Köln types of hemoglobin in post-splenectomy. So, the red blood cell experience oxidative stress. Number 1, Heinz body ang magproproduce. So, your Heinz body consists of precipitated hemoglobin. Yung hemoglobin na moo, nag-precipitate due to oxidant stress. Next, hemoglobin H inclusions. Class, when I was in college, we called this as pitted golf ball appearance. Pakisulat naman dyan. And it can also be seen in supravital staining using BCB. Ayun, class, it's a precipitated beta chain specifically. So it's precipitated hemoglobin as well, specifically beta chains. Next, class. So, tapos na tayo sa abnormal hemoglobin precipitation. Nandito tayo sa protozoan inclusions. Alam niyo ba? So, protozoan inclusions. So, ma'am, ba't may biglang may protozoa? Isn't this discussed in parasitology? You know, guys, we have parasites that are specifically found inside your red blood cells. Diba? So, it's very, alam nyo, dapat discuss to sa hematology kaso wala kasi tayong masyadong time eh. So, usually the most common here in the Philippines that resides in your red blood cell is Plasmodium parasites. Yan. So there are apparently inclusions. Actually, maganda tong smear na to because talagang talagang many red blood cells are infected. But usually, class, commonly, not all. It's very difficult to diagnose a malarial patient if you're just using the microscope, but it's the gold standard. Still, microscopy is the gold standard. Now we have immunologic test on testing for Plasmodium, pero gold standard pa rin kasi ang malaria. So guys, I just want to give this to you. So we have the 4 species of the different types of malaria. We have Plasmodium vivax. So you can see Schaffner's dots. Yeah. Morer's dots, Zeeman dots, and James dots. So ano na tayo dito? Theoretical na lang muna ha. So those are the malarial inclusions. So your Schaffner's dots looks like this. Yeah. Actually naman, may kanya-kanyang image yan, class. May kanya-kanyang memorize talaga bawat developmental stage ng malaria. Yan. Class, di ba, review nga. So malaria, diba, it's caused by a Anopheles species of mosquito. So once you are bitten, yan, so it can affect your red blood cells, and sometimes it can reside to your it can hibernate in your liver in the form of hypnocytes. So meron din silang sexual and asexual stage. Actually, nakalimutan ko na. So those are your dots. Those are your red blood cell inclusion. And next class, we have another protozoan, which is Babesia species. Yan. Ganyan ang itsura niya. Yan, wala ata sa notes niyo yun. So, pakisulat please. And I think this is our final stop, abnormal distribution. So, we have ROLU. Yan. Please take note of the spelling. Ako minsan nakakalimutan ko. ROULEAUX, ROLUX. Yan. So, ROLU, so notice your red blood cell is stacked into points, diba? Stack of points or dikit-dikit sila. Can we just have a review? What is the part, what's the specific part of the red blood cell which will prevent aggregation? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Isn't it that it's sialic acid, diba? It's the one that gives the zeta potential so that your red blood cell will not aggregate to each other. But apparently, sinabi ko dati that there's a factors where there are elements which cancel out the zeta potential, which is high protein or high globulin. Yan. So in cases of, nabanggit ko to last time, multiple myeloma, and another one in your notes is Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. So in these two cases, class, mataas ang globulin. Ang specific na globulin na yun, that's gamma globulin or mga immunoglobulins, class, mataas ang antibodies. Yan, multiple myeloma. So there is excess formation of antibodies. Yan, hyperproteinemias. So they tend to cancel out the sialic acid or the zeta potential. So ma'am, so, problema to, class, specifically in blood banking. Because in blood banking, we in cross-matching, compatible sila, ang blood, from the donor and the recipient. Compatible ang blood kung walang aggregation. And apparently, if the patient has multiple myeloma or Waldenstrom myeloma, macroglobulinemia, it can show aggregation. Hindi naman dahil incompatible because dahil sa RULU formation. That's why in blood banking, we do washing. We wash the cells using NSS. Yes po, hinuhugasan po natin yung red blood cells. Pinawash natin sila so that they will not stack to each other. Yan. So that we can really see if there's aggregation or not, to see if they are compatible or incompatible. So mahalaga rin ang RULU formation. Huwag kakalimutan. So the sialic acid will prevent the aggregation of your red blood cell. So in cases of hyperproteinemias or increased globulin in the body, such as multiple myeloma and Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, the zeta potential is cancelled out or removed. Yan. So as a remedy, what we use is normal saline solution. Yan. So in other situation, if you want to promote aggregation of your red blood cells, gusto mo sila mag-stack, ganyan, add albumin. Ayun, di ba? Galing na. So if you want to enhance aggregation, add albumin. Actually, marami pang iba. So that's it. That's our discussion for today. Meron pa ba? So this is the grading scale, class. There is RULU. So if there is abnormal distribution, sobrang nag-aggregate siya. End of red blood cell study. So thank you for listening, guys. So just message me if you have any questions. Ayun, na-enjoy nyo ba? Naintindihan nyo ba? So I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.